Alrighty, folks. Good morning. It is so good to see everyone in the chat. Hello, Frank. Hello, Mercurial, Clarissa, Jennifer, Sam, Ferry, Sean. It is so good to see everyone. Francisco, hello. Hello, Patrick. Welcome in, everybody. Quick reminder, if you folks are over chilling on the YouTube channel, please head over to behance.net/live because that is where I'm reading the chat. It is where all of the resources and everything are going to be posted, and it is basically where the party is at. My name is Voodoo Val. I'm going to be your host this morning, yet again, for the last episode of the first week for this 2-week challenge session. So we're getting all of our cool special effects challenges done today, and then tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next week, we're going to be starting our awesome kind of continuous challenge project, which I'm very excited about. Ted, it's good to see you. Siva, what's up? I see Heather, Valeria, Ralph. It's good to see everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into how you folks can get involved in the challenge with me. We're going to take a look at some of the challenge entries, and then I'm going to dive into our Smoky text challenge for today. So if you guys go over to the landing page, which I am going to pull up right here, behance.net/challenge/Photoshop is where you can get all of the information that you need to join me. You will see that it is from September 28th to October 9th. So if you're seeing a different date here, please make sure that the URL is correct, because you want to make sure that when you scroll down here to the unlocked challenges that you are seeing the proper challenges and you're getting the right starter files to work along with me. Happy Smile Day, happy Friday. What's up, Emma? It's good to see you. Hello, Emmy. Hello, Mia. Hello, Corey. It's good to see you guys. What's up, RB? What's up, Steve? Oh, I'm so happy everyone's here today. Okay, so we have done 3 challenges thus far. We've done the Ethereal Objects challenge where we created ghosts. We have done the Magic Potion challenge where we selected transparent glasses and things from a background and then brought them to either another file or put another background behind them and then filled those glasses with magical potion. We did a crystal ball challenge yesterday. That was a lot of fun. And then as the title says, today we will be doing smoky words. It says give a glowing smoke effect using blending modes, filters, and the text tool, which I'm super excited about. You can hit this get started button. It will bring you to a download page for the file I have created for you today. And then if you need to come back and rewatch this video, you can always click watch video. Now, one of the things that you can do is also head over to the Discord where I'm about to go right now and talk about some of the challenges that you folks have added. So this is the Discord URL. If you go to bit.ly/ps discord, it will take you to our Photoshop server. You just have to make sure that that P and that S are capitalized so you get to the right destination. And that actually looks like this. I'm gonna pop over to the Discord. So this is our Discord. And in here you can see these are this is the current challenge tab. You can see above my head, that is where I'm at right now. Daxa and Sam and everybody are chit-chatting right now, and we can kind of scroll through all of these super cool things that people have posted. Stephanie has got this one where she is actually, it looks like she's kind of working with Sam on some feedback right now, where she has got some ballerinas in the crystal ball shape that I created for you folks, which is pretty cool. This is terrifying, but I'm super into it. Valder, it looks like, is giving Nicole some feedback here on this terrifying spider that is trapped in a bubble. Hopefully this hand belongs to the wizard that has trapped it there, and it's not coming to munch and crunch on this hand here, because that is a really big spider. But definitely in keeping with our spooky time themes. And I love it. So let's scroll up here. Eric Douglas has got this really cool one here. I really like, Eric, that you have added such like a kind of a illustrative vibe to this, because we have our picture in the back. You've created I don't know if it's so much a crystal ball now as it is just like a ball of magic, a ball of power. And then these open hands that are here that have like these really great kind of shapes and colors happening is really, really cool. I love it. If I can offer any advice, I would say I don't know if the border is necessary. I think it goes with the motif of the hand, but I almost feel like I want to see like the illustrative hands and like the magical ball and then see more of the background surrounding it because it really makes the colors and the hands pop. But that could just be personal preference. Regardless, I think you've done a really, really cool thing here, and you've made the challenge your own, which is really cool. So I love to see that, and I think you did really, really well. This is a cool one from Carrie. I love the kind of emotional meaning that this one takes on. And I also like that we don't see the character's face until you look into the reflection of the crystal ball, which is really cool. You see the hands, didn't see those at first. Yeah, Nikki, I think it looks really cool. Also, welcome in Dexa, or Daxa. I hope I'm saying that right. Donovan, welcome. It's good to see you. Good morning. So yeah, we have got a lot of really fabulous entries. Abdullah um, has got this really cool one going here with the jungle. I think it looks really neat. We've got Biola coming in with the updated potion that I'm loving. I love that you added more items to your table here, which is really cool. Looks like we've got, Jude says, wasn't happy with the composition layout, so I futzed around a little this morning, still feeling bad for that bride. Yeah, she doesn't look very happy. I like how you're kind of like putting, I don't know if this is like her inner thoughts or something, but this is a pretty a pretty emotional piece as well, Jude. And then I think we'll land on this one from Mark A, because I do want to get into our challenge. I really like this. You've customized the hand here and like kind of made this your own thing too, which I think is cool. So it's like, I don't know if this is an eye or if it's some sort of like projector mechanism that's like projecting this thing. Regardless, I think it's cool. I love the kind of Egyptian tattoo that's going on here. It looks really awesome. So well done, everyone. I'm going to jump in there again today and kind of give people some feedback that I was not able to review. But you guys are all killing it. You guys are all doing a great job. Now I'm going to jump into Photoshop real quick. Now, again, remember I said that you can jump over to the landing page and hit that get started button, and you'll be able to download the starter file. And when I jump into Photoshop, I'm gonna unhide my information here. You'll see this challenge 4, give type a glowing smoke effect using blending modes, filters, and the text tool. And then I also have the image credits for the photos that I have supplied for you. Now you can use either of these images, you can use both of these images, you can use totally different images if you have some smoke images that you much prefer. It's really up to you. What up, Doe? What's up, Adari? It's good to see you again. Jan Eric, hello. So I like this second piece, and what I'm going to do with the smoke before I jump in to use it is I am going to kind of warp this around and reposition it the way I want. So I'm going to hit Control T on my keyboard. I'm going to rotate this like so. I'm going to enlarge it like this, and then I'm going to kind of tilt it because I want this to be kind of like that, you know, just a little more straight. And then it does cut off the corner here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sample this color. Actually, I have my caps lock on. If you ever can't see your cursor properly, chances are you probably have caps lock on. So for example, if I have my brush, let me make a new layer. If I have a brush selected, you can typically see the size and shape of your brush, but if you have caps locks on, it's just a little pinpoint here. So make sure if you're wondering what that is and you're like, why the heck can't I see anything? That's probably what's going on. So I'm going to select a color here. I'm going to delete that layer that I made, and I'm going to add a solid color background with that color, and then I'm going to merge these together by creating a smart object out of both of them. because I just want this straight across like that. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some text. So I'm going to hit T on my keyboard to select my, my text tool. I'm going to click on my canvas here, and I'm going to write the word spooky. Boom. I'm going to double click here, change this to white, and then I am going to free transform this and make it a little larger. Now I'm using a kind of a handwritten font very specifically for this because I want to make this look like it's kind of coming out of the smoke. And so I figured a font that's less strict and has more organic shapes and flow to it would be a lot better for this project. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to position this up like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to warp my text around kind of the shape of my smoke here. And I'm going to do that like this. I'm just going to hit Control T. I'm going to warp it, and I'm going to hold Alt. I believe it's Alt if I can. And I'm going to, here, hold on. Actually, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this to a smart object. That's what I'd like to do. Then free transform, and I'm going to warp it. There we go. So now if I hold Alt, I can actually add some more points to this. And so I'm going to add a point above and below my O's, because what I'd like to do is be able to grab these and pull this up like that and really kind of alter the arcing of this word. So I can pull that around. It makes it really, really easy to kind of get the shape that I'm going for. I may even drag one over like so on this P so that I can pull the P out and kind of make that look a little bit creepy and wispy. There we go. So now that I have this, what I would like to do is add some more effects to it. And I want to be able to see my text properly when I pull up some of my filter modes, like we're going to go into some warp and we're going to go into some Gaussian blur and all that good stuff. So I'm going to make another solid color layer underneath here. I want it set to black. So I'm clicking my adjustments button down there underneath my layers. I'm going to hit solid color. I'm going to say OK. And I am going to I'm going to kind of merge these together. Again, you can use clipping or you can use smart objects here. You can group stuff together. You can rasterize layers. I prefer to do smart objects because I like to be able to revert back to what I had just in case I hate what I make. So I'm going to say convert to smart object. I'm going to come up to filter, and I'm going to add some blur to it. We can do like a motion blur at an angle here that kind of matches our word. That looks kind of cool. You can add a maybe a regular Gaussian blur filter if you like. It's really up to you and what you're feeling for this particular piece. So I can add like that. That looks a little bit spooky. And then I think the main thing that makes this look really kind of creepy is going into distort and going into wave. I really like wave because it gives me kind of a like a creepy vibe that you wouldn't normally get if you're just playing around with your regular warp or liquefy or something. Gives it, it's more organic, it's all more together, and it just looks a little bit better. So you can mess around with the wavelengths here. I might bump this down just a little bit like that. I'm keeping my number of generators pretty low because that looks neat, but I want it to be like a little more organic. Maybe I'll crank it up to like a 2 would be fine, and I'm gonna say okay. And that kind of gives it more of like a wispy, creepy look. And then I'm gonna apply this layer to my bottom layer with a screen effect, like so. Now this is pretty cool. I've got like creepy text. I've got it floating over my smoke, but it kind of needs a little something else because it looks like creepy words kind of overlaid into smoke, but it doesn't necessarily look like part of this might be smoke. And we're going to create that by, let me kind of collapse this. By the way, if you ever create a smart object and you have tons of filters and things attached to it, and you start to get this big long list of all these different things listing down from that layer, you can always click this little arrow on the very end here just to collapse it so that you can keep an eye on your layers more easily, which is really cool. So now what we're going to do is I've got this interesting shape going on here. I really, really like how this S kind of, you see how that part of that smoke has that curve, and the S kind of has that same curve as that. I really love it, so I'm going to leave that there, but I am, however, going to duplicate my smoke layer here, and I'm going to bring it up above my spooky word, and I'm going to start repositioning this smoke around and applying other filters on it to kind of make things look a little more like they are connecting the smoke to these letters. And I'm going to do that with, surprisingly enough, an exclusion blending mode. Now, this might not look initially like it's gonna do what we want it to do. You may at first think that you should probably be using maybe more of a like an overlay or a color dodge or something, but I found working on this project that I did actually really prefer exclusion for this, and it works just fine. All you have to do, or all I found I had to do, was go in and edit the levels and the hue and saturation to kind of bring back in the brightness of our smoke. So I'm going to position these around. I like that. I'm going to pull up our levels panel with Control L. And I am going to noodle with this just a little bit. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of disappear that background slightly. And I'm going to pull up hue and saturation with Control U. And I'm going to kind of bring this to like more of a blue color, or I can turn down the saturation totally and kind of, there we go. So I kind of got that wispy. You see how that kind of brings in more of the wispy texture? I've sucked kind of all the color out of it a little bit there. And it doesn't matter 100%. Here I will say, if your exclusion layer looks the same exact color as the smoke that is underneath the word spooky, because what I'm going to do is add another solid color layer and kind of change the color of everything. I'm going to give everything a blue tint. Obviously, there are different ways to do that as well. If you'd like to use some of the color settings that we discussed yesterday, you can use those if you want to review that challenge. But I'm just going to, kind of start placing some weird, strange smoke around. Maybe, in fact, we will put a little bit around this P, like so, just to give it a little bit of, oops, I accidentally added a text layer. Just to give it a little something something there, and that looks pretty neat. But now I want to kind of make it all the same color so that it doesn't still look like there's just smoke around weird words. So I'm going to do that. Like I said, I'm going to add a solid color layer. I'm going to come up here and select kind of a blue ethereal color like so, and I'm going to apply this with some blending mode. I think I'm probably going to end up on overlay, which, yeah, overlay looks pretty darn cool. Soft light looks kind of neat as well, but overlay might, overlay might do it. All right. So now it's kind of like blended in all of these kind of strange bits. And another thing that I really like to do is now kind of over the top, is you can take a brush tool. You can take, let's see, I'm gonna actually grab my stylus, because you folks know that I'm mostly an illustrator. However, you could do this with a pen tool and then kind of like softening lines that you add into this. But I'm going to grab a soft round brush, and I am going to turn the opacity down, and I'm going to bump, my smoothing is already up to about 26, 25, 26. I'm going to crank it down just slightly. And what I could do is select some of this like a blue color, and then maybe start kind of adding in like some shapes, kind of continuing these strange wispies around here, and then apply that onto a blending mode as well. I'm thinking maybe an overlay. Yeah, overlay works a little bit. I think maybe I'll do overlay. Because it just kind of like makes it look a little brighter around the edges. I can kind of continue some of this bright color. Maybe I want to bring out these O's, and I can start kind of brightening that up, and dragging that out like so. And I like it. It's a lot of fun. It makes things spooky and creepy. I also have another one because I did this a handful of times just to make sure that, because there's a lot of like with this challenge, there's a lot of experimentation involved, and so another one that I did, which I will pull up real quick, it was a lot of fun, and I think it's less vibrant and less bright, but it's still very, very cool to look at. So I'm gonna open up this this spooky one that I thought was really cool, because this one, I don't have the time to noodle with all the smoke as long as I would like during the 30-minute challenge, but this one I played with it a lot more, and I started like bringing out the tail of this Y and everything, and you can see how if you spend a little bit of time on it, you can really make like the S and everything kind of float into smoke. I really tried to kind of add some more textures and stuff over the Y here, and this would be a cool one too, where you could just like kind of get in and add more little loopies and things as well. So that's kind of how I create smoky text. I'm sure that there are some of you who maybe have found a different way of doing this. It's something that I always like to call attention to, because a lot of people, they'll say, you know, you could use this filter for that, or you could use this tool for that, or, you know, all of these different methods. And the truth is, you guys are right, because Photoshop is so vast and so awesome that we can all kind of find our own ways of doing things, and maybe there's more efficient ways, more, you know, faster ways of doing certain things than others. But this is just an example of how this kind of effect can be achieved, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with, and as always, if anybody is kind of noodling around in Photoshop and you guys stumble upon another method, share it, put it in the Discord, put it in the chat, tell everybody about what you've discovered and how you have achieved things, because that is how we all learn, that's how we keep an open mind to new techniques, and kind of stay creative. Yeah, Sig Brown is saying smudge tool. That's also a really fabulous way to do it. A smoke ring going through a smoke ring. That could be cool. That could be neat. Every artist has his own technique, says John, and that is absolutely true. Chris Olson says that looks amazing. I'm glad that you like it. I had a really great time doing this one, especially because I think everybody kind of has probably a part of each of their pieces that's like, ooh, this is my favorite part. I like it, but like this one part is my favorite. My favorite part of this whole piece is how this S disappears into the smoke. And it was one of those little kind of happy accident moments where I was just like, okay, I'm gonna start situating the smoke around, and I'm gonna start, you know, making this look a little bit ethereal, but I'm still gonna try and give it like a wispy look to it. And then I realized that that curve matched the S that I chose perfectly, and I was like, wow, all right, this is choice. So it was fun. Unfortunately, that's all the time I have for you today. I think the last thing I will leave you with, however, if anyone's interested, is my font that I'm using is one that I found online. It's called Meytha. Meytha. If anyone is interested in finding that one. Otherwise, I think any kind of hand lettering font or handwriting font will work very well. Or you can use like Montserrat. You can use whatever you want. So thank you all so much for joining me. I will see you next week for a continuous, super terrible, but awesome spooky challenge for the week. Much love, everyone. I will see you later.